This is the 60th anniversary of the end of World War II. While history records the epic battles that ultimately brought fanaticism to its knees, there were other moments that should not go unremembered. This is one of them.
Dearest mine, again, no mail. A bit of excitement. An NBC reporter phoned me last night and told me he wanted to broadcast part of my service on this Sunday afternoon.
Captain Sidney Lefkowitz was now advancing with his unit into Germany. Earlier he had landed on Omaha Beach, was at the Battle of Saint-Lô, and would soon serve at the Battle of the Bulge. Captain Sidney Lefkowitz, winner of the Bronze Star for Valor, U.S. Army chaplain. Rabbi.
This afternoon we arranged for the broadcast. The reporter promised to have NBC advise you so that you could tune in. Therefore, unless atmospheric conditions interfere, you'll be hearing me on Sunday. Yours, Sydney.
The first Jewish service broadcast on Nazi soil for soldiers of the advancing Allied armies. A Jewish service held near the site of a destroyed synagogue, broadcast to all of America. And perhaps even more significantly, a broadcast that was to be rebeamed directly to the German people. A warning, in the words of Milton Krentz, radio director of the American Jewish Committee, that the Allied armies, composed of every color, faith, and nationality, will never halt until freedom takes the place of tyranny on every inch of Axis soil. And so the stage was set for one of the most moving gestures of the war.
The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with the American Jewish Committee, brings you now a special broadcast of historic significance, with the first Jewish religious service broadcast from Germany since the advent of Hitler.
This service is being held in an open field underneath a blue sunlit sky. To hear the sound of artillery guns, because the front line is not far from where we are.
Even as we sadly regard the ruins amidst which we stand, we are solaced with the thought an everlasting memorial consecrates the sacrifice, and upon it is written in letters that glow like burning coals, the spirit of man cannot be conquered.
The importance of the service at Aachen was apparent to everyone. The U.S. Army dispatched photographers to cover the event. AP, UPI, and Acme Pictures were also present. And while Rabbi Lefkowitz conducted the service, he was not the only one to speak. There, in a show of unity and faith, were two other Army chaplains.
Torture and death, imposed upon the Jews of Germany, have failed miserably in their real purpose. Nazism was never really able to crush the heart of man and remove his longing for God. May one of the good fruits born of this war be religious freedom for all men.
You have just heard a special broadcast of historic significance presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with the American Jewish Committee. Complete copies of this historic broadcast may be obtained free of charge by writing directly to the American Jewish Committee, 386 4th Avenue, New York 16, New York.
60 years after the world stared into the abyss, this anniversary serves as a reminder that we must continue to challenge bigotry and hatred wherever they exist, that we must continue to make ourselves heard in the face of indifference, and that we must continue to speak out steadfastly for democracy and mutual respect. This is David Harris of the American Jewish Committee.